Monsters Dark Continent, which is the belated sequel to Monsters. Now, the interesting thing about Monsters, which was this Gareth Edwards film, which essentially was the calling card, which then got him the gig doing Godzilla. And, he came on the programme to talk about Monsters. Did he come on to talk about Godzilla as well?
Yes, Godzilla as well, yeah.
Great, okay. And what was...
Thanks for listening.
I think I was on that show, Simon. I was just asking for, support because I'm 52 and my memory fails me.
Yes.
I've lost my plot now. Oh, yes. Anyway, so what Gareth Edwards did with that film was to take a tiny little budget, a really small crew, and conjure from almost nothing a story about two sort of misfit strangers who end up going on a journey together. And in the background of all of this are these strange extraterrestrials. And part of what was good about that film was it was him saying, look, I can do all these different things. I can make a film called Monsters, which is actually primarily about the characters. And in order to film it, they did the journey. And he was saying that they were shooting on cameras, that they would meet people out there who were honeymooning, who had better cameras.
Yeah, he bought his camera.
Exactly, yeah. And there was something really special about the fact that was how Monsters got made. But more importantly, what was clever about Monsters was that the title itself was sort of ironic because it says monsters, but the monsters are actually in many ways the humans, rather not the two central characters, but the monsters are the humans as much as they are these extraordinarily beautiful extraterrestrials. And there's this one wonderful scene in which two of the extraterrestrials meet over a garage, and they sort of their tentacles intertwine. It's beautiful and elegiac, right? So now comes a sequel directed by Tom Green, which basically makes the same genre shift that Alien to Aliens did. Alien being this kind of strange mood, a horror movie, but a moody, slow art piece. Aliens being this time it's war. And that's essentially what you get in the case of Monsters, that the infected zones have expanded and our anti-heroes are soldiers from Detroit being sent out into the war zone where there is insurgency going on, but there are also some monsters in the background. Here's a clip.
Listen up. 5 hours ago, we lost comms with a unit in Altaya Desert, which, as you know, is deep IZ. There's a dense population of MTRs, airstrikes, and hostile insurgent activity. It is our job to go in, find them, get them out. Now, their last known location was Altaya Village. This here is the unit's evacuation corridor. This here is one big hot zone. So we're 4 deployed by chopper, 12 clicks out. Take 2 Humvees, we go the rest of the way by road. They're just like us. It could be any one of you out there in this position. I pulled down photo IDs of the men we're looking for. I want you to burn these 4 men's faces into your heads. Because we're not coming home without them.
I went into Monsters Dark Continent feeling sort of, I was in a state of anticipation because I like Monsters so much, and I have to confess that I was very disappointed by the results. One of the problems is that in that genre shift between it being this very moody, very elegiac, it was interesting that it was described in that email as a love story. This really isn't. It is the Aliens war movie. And for a good section of it, it is just another shouty, macho war movie, kind of, doesn't have the gripping realism of Kajaki, but it's guys going to war. There's a kind of narrative going on in the background, which is sort of sub-apocalypse now, kind of existential colonial angst, and it's all kind of leading not very far. That's for the first half of the movie. There are monsters in the background, but you really can't hear them over the gunfire and the shouting. As it gets into its second half, it moves into something in which is slightly more confident, and the monsters themselves start to make an appearance. But there were moments in it where I thought all the things that I like about the first film are absent. The stillness, the idea of just simply coexisting hasn't been fully explored. It is, in the end, it's a quite brutal war movie that just happens to have aliens in the background. The problem with the aliens in the background thing is that is the essence of Gareth Edwards' film as well, is that the monsters are the background noise. The problem with this is that the foreground noise is so loud that you actually can't hear the background noise going on. And when you remember, though, that elegiac beauty, when you remember that strange, just quiet, that strange sense of stillness and of characters watching each other develop in this odd world, which is, you know, partly the world that you know, but partly a destroyed world. And then you kind of replace it with the cliches of, you know, burnt out Detroit and Middle Eastern combat and war is hell. And there's an awful lot of, you know, spittle and tooth grinding and people shouting, ah, because war is... And it's fine. It's not what I want from Monsters. I was disappointed. The performances are very committed. I think that some of the location stuff is well done, and there are one or two shots that give you a sense of, okay, I can see where this could have been going, but it doesn't. And I suspect that most of the people who felt the same way about Monsters that I did, which was that what you loved about it was that it was actually a love story movie that happened to have extraterrestrials in the background. This is a very, very different beast, and not for the better.